So now that we've talked about the shortcomings in the current state of territory design, I think it's best that we talk about how can People.ai change that that structure, that old structure that hasn't really been tweaked for about 2 decades. Well, one, we need to get over the mentality shift. And a lot of companies are doing this, but they don't know how to implement it. Reps don't own accounts, they rent them. The company owns the accounts. They are the landlord, and they are distributing these accounts to the reps and hoping that they are attacking all the reps, all the accounts that you want, so that they can all hit quota and exceed quota. That is actually the desire by corporate America. So when reps are feeling the pressure that corporate is out to get them, the man is there to raise quotas and not pay them as much. That's actually absolutely not the truth. The corporate room wants every single rep to hit 200% of quota. And they're trying to give them the best bets to get there. In certain cases, they're ranking accounts A, B, C, and D and saying, I'm going to give you so many of the A's, which are the greatest accounts, so many of the B's, which are the second greatest accounts, C's and D's. And they're saying, these are the ones we want you to attack. What happens, though, is reps typically look at those accounts and attack the ones that they think are the best bet for them. And that could be C's and D's. Those could be the lower ends that the conference room board analytics is saying, those are not the best clients for us. But the reps could be attacking those because they have familiarity there and connections there. And they're trying to hit quota. Everyone wants to hit quota, of course. So how can People.ai help that? Well, People.ai, by tracking revenue organizations' activities automatically, there's no longer a guessing game on what accounts are being attacked. And obviously, meetings are the most important. There are multiple ways for a rep to reach out to a client, either through LinkedIn, phone calls, personal phone calls, texting, mail, you name it, you've got it. But rarely does a company, a sales rep have a meeting with someone and not put that on the calendar. So I think meetings are the most important avenue, and everything else leading up to the meeting is an indicator to success. But you can identify which people are meeting with who. One of the tenets of People.ai is people buy from people. So it's not only just meetings with the company, but who are you meeting with? And is that person key? The risk always in reshuffling accounts from one rep to another is that, am I losing something in this reshuffle? Is there actually some sort of sales motion going forward that we have something in motion, and it's causing us to fear that by moving this account to someone else, they're going to lose any momentum that they have, and we're going to set us back another 6 months on that account. Now with People.ai, by automatically tracking all their activities, also automatically tracking who they're talking to and when and how long ago were they talking to that person, you as a corporation can make a better bet on moving those dollars or moving those accounts over to other reps. And in doing so, those reps will also see that you're moving accounts based on true data. And they might be irritated. They never want to lose a great account, but they would understand it, especially if you replace it with another account, that you're moving these accounts to get better bets and shortening ramp time. You'll also be able to track, I think the one thing that has occurred over the world has substantially changed is in-person meetings are extremely important. It's very rare that $1 million deal is signed without an in-person meeting. But I will say this, they're not all the time. So geo shouldn't be the primary reason why you're assigning accounts. Geo should be one of the lower factors on, I don't know who to give this account to. It's in Denver, so I'm going to give it to the Denver rep. So geo should not be the primary reason. Instead, you should be giving the best accounts and spread them across the board so that your best accounts, your A accounts, your B accounts are being worked by everyone and they're not sitting there cold. so that you as a corporation are making the best bets possible with your best reps. And then therefore with COVID and Zoom and Teams and WebEx meetings and video meetings, it's no longer required to do everything. It's no longer required to do everything inside a geolocation. You're doing it all over, you're doing a majority of the meetings over Zoom anyways. Let's keep it that way. And then, like I said, they don't own the accounts. So you can shift accounts during the year when you realize there's no motion going on. So as long as reps know, maybe every 6 months, we're going to take a look at some of these accounts, and we might give you some accounts, but we might take some accounts that we think are really great accounts that you haven't been able to be successful with. We no longer are guessing which accounts you're working on, and we're moving these accounts along. What I have seen in working with clients and in myself, I used to be a client of People.ai. What I have seen when you deploy these tactics correctly, you will not only increase rep productivity, you should be able to increase sales capacity without increasing headcount. You're going to find areas where they have great TAM associated with one rep and maybe move those across the board. And they're going to not only be able to sell more, but they should be able to take on more quota. And then ramp time is going to be decreased. I know, looking at our data, that without People.ai and relationship maps and all the data being attacked, companies, it takes them on average 93 days when they transition an account from one rep to another before that new rep attacks that account. 93 days. What will happen with People.ai? It should be closer to 2.5 weeks if they're using that. So 2.5 weeks. If I give you if one rep's working an account, they're actually working that account, and I give it to another rep, 2.5 weeks time before that person knows. Why? Because they're going to know who's who in the zoo, who's engaged with when and who, and where and when, how long ago. So they're going to be able to do that. The other thing is, in the enterprise world and named accounts, over 2/3 of named accounts in the enterprise world have not been, there's been no real true engagement based on meetings in the last 12 months. This should change drastically with People.ai. Not only are you going to know who's meeting with who and how long it's been since they're meeting, but you're going to be able to move those accounts over. And hopefully that number will flip where maybe 1/3 of the accounts haven't been attacked. Why? Because reps don't have the time to be selling more than 10 deals a year. And you're probably in the enterprise world, 10 is probably a lot. So those are the things that I have seen with People.ai. People.ai can help you overhaul your territory design. It can give you comfort in knowing that when I'm moving accounts, I'm not losing any sales cycles. And it can allow you to spread your accounts more evenly across your entire sales reps bag so that they can increase rep productivity, decrease ramp time for new reps, and hopefully increase sales capacity based on how you're doing quota without having to hire people. And those are the 3 things that have helped with People.ai. I hope this helps. Thank you very much.